Thank you for turning to page 121. Today we're going to take a look at a new offering from Mongoose Traveler for second edition. It's Traders and Gunboats. I've actually been waiting for this one for a while. I'm a big fan of ship books in Traveler. It's one of the things that got me into Traveler and has kept me into Traveler. So let's take a look at this guy. First off, I love the cover. Very nice. Written by Matthew Sprange. Let's see, the illustrations. Doesn't say who did the cover. But there's our table of contents, just published this year. A short introduction about what it is, but anybody that's been playing Traveler understands that it's a book of ships. And then ships as benefits. I liked this. They expand ships as mustering out benefits to include some of the stuff from this book, from Adventure Class ships, High Guard, and the core rulebook. So you've got a lot to choose from, and some are more valuable than the others. So you've got to kind of pick and choose as the GM. I like the artwork there too. That's so pretty. High Guard editions. We get a little bit of High Guard in here, just the one page, but we get Bay and Barbette lasers and burst lasers. So a little look at those, and then we go alphabetically, starting with Aslan. That was a nice setup. Nothing really unique to that, but I liked that we went alphabetically. Some sections offer a little more ships than others, but what the heck. So there's the Aslan. We've got a light fighter, the ISAI. I'm not going to try to pronounce a lot of these because some of these are just words that are made up of letters thrown together. So this is just a light fighter with a nice top-down deck plan. There's a launch. The fighter was 12 tons. I like a nice light fighter. A launch. An orbital defense fighter. This guy's going at 35 tons. Nice top-down view. A troop carrier, an Aslan troop carrier. That has lots of gaming potential when you're getting into the Ihate fleets and things like that. And then we have a hunting yacht. The hunting yacht is interesting because they don't really have an area for live cargo, animals you've captured, because Aslan, for the most part, just need the refrigerated section because they're not going to capture most of the stuff live. So that was kind of a nice touch. We've got an Aslan freighter. This can be very important in gaming, especially if you're gaming anywhere around the Rift or anywhere near the Hierate. You can end up with a lot of encounters with a freighter. An armed scout. Who doesn't love an armed scout? I love an armed scout. I don't care who made it. Another freighter, the Ewok class this time. This guy tips at 400-ton displacement. A clan liner. This is a luxury liner for the higher ranking clans and the members therein. Just some fun stuff. Now, realistically, you're not going to use a lot of these ships, but realistically, this gives you some great background flavor, and you never know when a player group is going to decide that they have to interact with this ship or that ship. Now you've got them all. Here we have a nice frigate. This guy is at 800-ton displacement. Intruder transport. Very important for your Ihate fleets. And now we get to the droin. The droin are kind of enigmatic. You're not really going to encounter droin ships too often, but that being said, when you do encounter them, at least you'll have them. So here we have a droin trader. This trader is at 120-ton displacement. And then we have an armed trader at 300-ton displacement. A droin merchantman. And a system defense boat. Lots of SDBs featured in this book. I love that. SDBs are going to be one of the ships that players tend to encounter, especially in charted space areas that they're not familiar with. So it's nice to have some different SDBs to choose from. Now we go to the Hiers. This I was really interested in. I like Hiers ships. They're intriguing. We get a nice ship's boat. This guy is 30-ton displacement. We get a shuttle. And the neat thing about these is the crew is fully automated. The ship's boat and the shuttle fully automated. So self-driving. Pretty interesting. That's a little beyond what most tech levels will allow. These are tech level 15, which is another reason I like the droin. We've got an escort, a drawing escort, but this actually has a crew. A Federation merchant also has a crew. System defense boat. I already said I'm in favor of SDBs. Development transport. This, if you want to go to a new area and start developing it, or if you have to do something to correct something gone wrong in the society, that you'd take this guy there. An embassy ship, also important. Now we get to the Imperium. Yay, the Imperium. Who doesn't love the Imperium? That's where most of us play, or at least interact in a indirect way. I'm in District 268 myself, down around Collis, which is not part of the Imperium, but is Imperial adjacent, and Collis is an Imperial, I forget what they're called, the Imperial World. It's gonna Imperial Protectorate. I forget what they're called. But we have a nice Imperial gig. A dropship. That's a nice looking dropship. A Corvette. Corvette is 600-ton displacement. This guy can punch pretty well. A luxury liner. Great place to have stories on a luxury liner. 750-ton displacement. An armored corvette. A patrol frigate. Just some nice ships in this set. I found a few areas. There's a couple of design flaws, minor stuff. Nothing I'm going to get too excited about. I am a little surprised Mongoose is still having this trouble. That's been a consistent thing. But hey, these are a lot of different ships. You're going to have a couple of little mysterious little oops here and there. They happen. A picket destroyer. I like this guy if you want to interdict a world or just protect an important world. You get a picket destroyer. A patrol frigate, also good in the aforementioned functions. I like the rounded ships. Those are neat. Express liner. Great stories to be told for role-playing aboard any kind of liner, whether it's in normal space or has entered jump space. It is possible to take a liner and not jump, just take it to a distant part of the same solar system. So it's definitely something you can do with a game also. Express freighter. I like this guy because it's a jump 4 freighter. So if you're playing around the abyss, the Great Rift, or anything like that, you've got a jump 4 freighter. You want to get into the island sectors and that kind of stuff. This is a great freighter for you. Good for stories. I like a freighter with nice long legs. Some independents. I was surprised to see just an independent section instead of Imperial. These are just general ships. So we have a lone trader. A deep trader. This guy has a jump 3. An advanced far trader. This guy's jump 2, but it can do it, let's see, can jump twice. Some of these can jump, no, that's just a jump 1. Or jump 2, but it can only do it once. A free trader plus, so trying to improve on the free trader a little bit. A blockade runner, just because you may need to run some blockades if you're an independent businessman trying to make a living. That may be part of it. The Draco Akosum, I'm not sure how to say that word. Just an interesting ship. Is this a gunship? It's a trading class vessel, but it's got some pretty decent weapons. Triple turrets, ×2, and a triple pulse lasers, and a triple turret missile rack sandcaster. Whoops. I don't know why I did that. Okay. A space liner, again, good story place. A tramp merchant, also good for stories. This guy's only a Tech 11. A belt miner, why not? You've got a belter in there, maybe this what they get on mustering out. What the heck? Sorry, my tablet's going a little wacky all of a sudden. Okay, belt miner. A backwater merchant, that's just a generic kind of thing. Everything can be a backwater merchant. A gunned merchant for those hostile areas. I like that. Exploratory merchant. You want to open up those new markets, but they might be risky markets. You're heading into areas that are outside of the Imperium and you're trying to push back boundaries. The exploratory merchant might be for you. The border world freighter, again, kind of the same thing as the exploratory merchant. You're going to be away from civilized space lanes. The armed liner, why not? I would rather travel aboard an armed liner than an unarmed one, personally, especially if I'm anywhere that's on the borders, on the fringes of Imperial space. A passenger liner, of course. I liked there were quite a few liners in this one. Express freighter, that looks very Star Wars-y. Long haul luxury cruise liner. This guy displaces 3,600 tons and can carry a bunch of people. Staterooms. It's got 30 luxury staterooms, 100 high staterooms, 25 standard, 40 low, and 16 barracks. That would be pretty much where the crew is, but that's pretty good. Although I imagine the crew stay in any of the cabins that aren't occupied on any voyage. I know I would. Kukri, I love Kukri ships. The saucers, all the big open spaces. You get the Warden of Herds. I love Kukri ships. They're very gregarious, sentients. They need to be with others. They need to smell them, be with them, touch them literally. Otherwise, they can suffer some severe mental problems. That's why their ships tend to be so big and open. Carrier of goods. Same kind of floor plan. Only 2 of those, though, unfortunately. Now we get the Soleimani. We get the light fighter. Soleimani light fighter. This guy's a little guy at 8 tons. Soleimani gig. A mains trader. A backwater trader. System defense boat, again. The Soleimani ships looked a little like Art Deco toasters to me. And I don't mean that as a criticism. I like Art Deco a lot. And just I don't know, they look almost 50s, 60s type ships. I just think it's a nice aesthetic. We have a liner, again, the Art Deco toaster kind of look. System defense boat, always a favorite. They bulked up kind of. They look armored. They look mean. That's one of the things I like. The Soleimani kind of hits you in the face with stuff. A close escort. There we go again. The Salem close escort. A freighter. A commerce raider. I mean, no matter what, the Soleimani mean business. A corvette. Wait for this to catch up a little bit. And there we go. A fast liner. I like the fast liner with a jump 3. It's only thrust 1, but jump 3. That'll get you pretty far. Light destroyer, displacing 1,200 tons. Thrust 6, jump 3. That's a pretty nice performance profile. An aquatic liner. The aquatic liner is for dolphins. I thought this was pretty cool. It's a ship for dolphins, presumably crewed by dolphins, uplifted dolphins, of course. But this thing starts underwater, so you just swim into it, seal it up with all the water and purification and hydrating and everything, not hydrating, but oxygenating, and make your trip. And then you land in water also and then disembark, having never gone into any kind of atmosphere, no need to suit up protective suits. I thought that was a really cool idea. This is one of the ones I really liked. I love uplifted dolphins. Freighter. I don't know why my tablet is acting up. I've gone through this. I spent the weekend reading this book and thoroughly enjoyed myself, by the way. I love when I have a new traveler book to read on the weekend. Sword Worlds. Like the Sword Worlds, the only thing the Sword Worlds takes a little bit from me is their lower tech level. We have a tech level 12 defense frigate, system defense boat at tech level 10. So that because the tech isn't quite there, the Sword World ships tend to be a little more fragile, a little more susceptible to damage. But I still love the Sword World, especially with Fifth Frontier War raging. These are some nice ships you should have a look at. An SDB for the Sword World, very handy for being in the Fifth Frontier War. And now we get the Vargar. Vargar ships, something I haven't really thought too much about. I, of course, have seen Vargar ships over the years, but I've never used a ton. I've used Aslan probably the most of the alien races, and then probably the Kukri after that, because I used to do a lot over in the Gateway subsector. Suspected of traitor for the Vargar, a heavy Corsair. Well, of course. Why? How can you be a Vargar without having a Corsair? That's the whole point. Fast merchant, a frigate, and this frigate is 950-ton displacement. Kind of boxy looking. I like some of these designs. And then, of course, our good friends, the Zodani, with the sweeping wings and the points and everything. We have the Zodani Free Trader, the Frontier Trader. I liked this guy just because it's a little different. It may be a spy boat, maybe it's not. A freighter, a liner. Definitely lots of intrigue on a Zodani liner. An intelligence frigate, yes. The ever-popular information-gathering vessel sitting in a friendly port. Is that a Zodani vessel, or is it a spy ship? I like that. These are pretty common, especially in Fifth Frontier War. You're going to want to see some of these out there. As the GM, I'm going to throw a few in their path. Now, we get a nice index by faction, which I really enjoyed. But then we get an index by tonnage, which I thought was a beautiful touch. I like that. If I'm looking for a certain displacement class of ship, this is the chart I can go to. So I'm a big fan of indexes anyway. But here we have, or indices, I guess the correct plural. But here we have two put together in two different ways. A Plea to Mongoose. Do one of these, index by tonnages, maybe post it up on your website, just as a freebie, but do it for everything you've published to this point. That we could know where to look for any ship we're looking for, whether it's in the core rulebook, High Guard, any of these ship books, the war fleets, anything. It would be nice to have one of these. And the reason I recommend it on the website is it's something that would be updatable every few months. And then the back end of the book. So this just came out Friday. I'm making this video on Sunday. I actually spent a very enjoyable day yesterday. Spent a lot of my time reading this book. And the fun thing is, I started Friday night, so even with a day and a half of reading this thing, I still haven't finished everything. There's still a bunch that I could take a look at, and I'm going to. So this is one of those books that I'm buying on a PDF because I wanted to get it right away, but I'm also eyeballing to get in a hardcover. I make those choices after I read the PDF. I really wish there was a way to get some kind of discount or something if I buy the PDF and then buy the hardcover through Mongoose. Is there any kind of value added I can get, some kind of credit on the website, something that would encourage me to go ahead and buy the hardcover after I've read the PDF? There are a number of books that I bought from Mongoose that I bought on PDF and then went ahead and bought in hardcover. I'm going to do a video on that in a little bit. I'm still working that up. But I've gone to secondary sources simply because it ends up being a little less expensive. So I'm trying to think of a way to incentivize me to go back to Mongoose and buy the hardcover, which is what I'd much rather do in the first place. So just a little plea there to Mongoose, if you could give us some kind of bonus for having bought the PDF, but then deciding we want the other. Now, having said that, I've bought many hardcovers, got the PDF, read it, very excited. The hardcover's delivered, and then I've kind of decided I made a mistake and I shouldn't have bought that hardcover. It's not one I'm going to use much. That's why I like to buy the PDF first and see what I'm going to do. But doing it this way, if I buy the PDF and then later buy a $50 hardcover, I'm in $80 on a book, and that's not something I'm crazy about. It's keeping me from buying a lot of the hardcovers. So just a little word to Mongoose, if there's anything you can do to help out there. I know for one person, you would see more business. So just throwing it there. By the way, I don't work for Mongoose. I'm not affiliated with Mongoose. I'm just a huge fan of what Mongoose is doing with Traveler right now. But that's all I've got today on page 121. I want to thank you for your time. Thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed what you saw. I like this book a lot. I recommend it completely. Even electronically, it's great to have it in my library. It's a really good one. I love all the ships Mongoose has put out in 2024. There's been a bunch of them. And I hope it continues. They charted space is massive and has thousands, if not millions, of different styles of ships. And so we get something like this, and it just whets the appetite for more. But that's all I've got to say today on page 121. I want to thank you for your time. Thanks for watching. Please leave comments, subscribe if you haven't, tell your friends. Take a look at the Patreon, help me out there if you can. I'm hopefully back. I'm feeling better. Thank everybody for your well wishes and your patience. I should be back to a full schedule this week. We'll see how it goes. But that's it for today on page 121. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.